You've made the decision. It's time to sell. Maybe you need more space. Maybe you're downsizing. Or maybe you're just ready for a change. You're probably already doing the math in your head. If I sell for this much, I'll walk away with this much. You're picturing the for sale sign in the yard. But I need you to hit the pause button. Because if you list your home today exactly as it is, you're likely leaving money on the table. And I don't mean a couple $100s. I mean thousands. Selling a home is very different from living in a home. When you live here, it's about your comfort. It's your family photos on the wall. It's the comfy but slightly worn out recliner. It's the magnets on the fridge. But the moment you decide to sell, this is no longer just your home. It's a product. And just like any product at the store, it needs to be packaged correctly, priced appropriately, and marketed properly to sell. Think about when you buy a used car. If you walk up to the car and it has fast food wrappers in the back seat and it smells like wet dog and there's a dent in the bumper, are you going to pay full price? No, you're going to wonder if they didn't take care of the wrappers, did they take care of the engine? Buyers do the exact same thing with houses. If they see clutter, they assume there is deferred maintenance. I know it's emotional. I know you love that bright red dining room wall, but the buyer might not like it, and that could cost you leverage. So, before we take a single photo and before we let a single buyer walk through that door, we have work to do. We need to declutter until it hurts. And yes, we might need to paint over that red wall, and a little spot cleaning can go a long way. I'm going to help you through this. I don't like to spend people's hard-earned money unnecessarily. But if there are small investments that you can make that could make the difference between your house selling and the one down the street, you will need to know that. By preparing your home, we don't just sell your home faster, we sell it for more. I'm Jeff Jolliker. Let's get your house ready for its close-up. Selling a home really comes down to two factors, price and exposure. Now the exposure part, that's on me. I'm going to make sure your home is seen by every qualified buyer in the market. That's the marketing engine, and I run that at full speed. But the second part, price, is critical. In today's market, your pricing strategy is just as important, if not more important, than your marketing strategy. I have to be honest with you. Determining the price is actually my least favorite part of the job, and here's why. First, I'm a bit of a perfectionist. I like exact answers, but a comparative market analysis, the report we use to price your home, it is not an exact science. It's very subjective. That gray area drives me a little crazy. But that crazy actually works in your favor because I'm a perfectionist. I don't glance at the numbers. I go the extra mile. I look at the value from multiple angles. I analyze past sales. I look at pending sales. I look at expired listings, the ones that didn't sell. And I look at market-worn properties, homes that have sat too long because they missed the mark. And I look at the current inventory to see if there's a gap where we can leverage and get you a higher price. The second reason, this is my least favorite part, by nature, I don't like to disappoint people. And sometimes the data comes in lower than a seller hopes for. It is really hard for me to sit at a kitchen table and tell someone their home isn't worth as much as they might think. But I made a promise to be fair and honest with my assessment. And I operate by one rule. I would rather disappoint you now than 6 months from now when your house doesn't sell. You need the hard truth. You need data. You need a review of the market trends, not just the best guess to make you feel good. Here's my offer to you. If you're thinking about selling and you want a valuation based on data, not just on what you want to hear, send me a message or give me a call. I can't promise the number will be exactly what you're hoping for, but I can promise it will be honest, thorough, and designed to actually get your home sold. I'm Jeff Jolliker. Let's look at the numbers. Okay, we've talked about the mindset. We've talked about the price. Now it's time to roll up our sleeves, because before we take photos, and certainly before I bring a buyer, we have to tackle the 3 Ds: declutter, depersonalize, and deep clean. I know this is the hardest physical part of the process. You still have to live here while we try to sell it. But remember, we aren't just selling your home, we're selling a product in a competitive market. Let's start with number 1, declutter. I don't just mean organizing your stack of mail. I mean packing away. If you're not going to use it in the next 3 months, pack it up. Here is a pro tip. Buyers open closets. If your closet is jammed full, the buyer thinks this house doesn't have enough storage. But if you remove 50% of your clothes, suddenly that same closet looks spacious. Number 2, depersonalize. I have a slightly different philosophy on this compared to conventional thought. I suggest that we minimize personal effects, but not completely remove them. Why? Because when a buyer walks in and sees your beautiful family on the wall, they may envision their family there. It isn't as cold. It makes it a little more personal. But there is too much of a good thing. Take down collages as they draw too much attention away from the space. Number 3, deep clean. And I don't mean a quick vacuum. I mean the Q-tip test. Baseboards, ceiling fan blades, the inside of the oven, the windows. If a buyer sees dirt in the corners, they unconsciously assume there are bigger maintenance issues they can't see. A sparkling clean house tells a buyer that this home has been loved and maintained. That creates value. It sounds like a lot of work, I know, but you don't have to guess if you've done enough. I have a pre-listing checklist. That breaks this down room by room so you know exactly what to pack, what to clean, and what to put away. Send me a message with the word ready, and I'll send you the checklist right over. Let's get your home ready to shine. You did the work. You decluttered, you depersonalized, and the house looks incredible. Now it's time for the final walkthrough. I'm going to come over, we're going to give the house a final white glove inspection, and if everything looks good, we'll sign the paperwork and get the photos taken. But before we put that price in ink on the listing agreement, I have one critical task left to do. I'm going to run the numbers one last time. Real estate moves fast. In the week or two we spent getting ready, a neighbor might have listed their home, or a comparable house might have just closed. I need to see the very latest inventory. If there's a new competitor, we need to know that. If the market heated up, we might be able to push the price up. I measured twice, so we only have to cut once. Once the price is set and the photos are taken, we have to write the remarks. You know, that paragraph of text that shows up on Zillow and on the MLS. Now, a lot of agents write novels. They list every single light fixture and outlet. But here's the truth. Buyers don't read novels. They scan. We need a description that is succinct, yet powerful. We don't just want to describe the features. We want to trigger an emotion. We want them to feel what it's like to live here. And to do that, I need your help. I always ask my clients 2 questions. What do you love most about this home? And what are you going to miss when you leave? Maybe it's how the morning sun hits the breakfast nook. Maybe it's the way the neighborhood is dead quiet on Sunday mornings. I want to incorporate your thoughts into the marketing. Why? Because the things you love are actually the exact same things the new buyer will fall in love with. We aren't just selling 4 walls and a roof. We're selling a feeling. So, for our next meeting, bring your keys, bring your excitement, and bring me a few notes on what makes this place special to you. I'll turn those memories into marketing that sells. I'm Jeff Joliker, and we are almost at the finish line. Okay, the paperwork is signed, the photos are uploaded, and the listing is officially live. Your home is now on the market. Now we shift from prep mode to show mode, and I want to walk you through exactly what to expect, so there are no surprises. First, let's talk about the yard sign. Unless you have a specific privacy concern, I highly recommend we put the sign up immediately. It is 24/7 marketing. Neighbors talk, and you never know who is driving by and who wants to live on the street. Next, let's talk about showings. We need to decide on the notice you require. Do you need 24 hours or is 1 hour okay? Just remember, access equals equity. The easier it is for a buyer to see your home, the faster it will sell. If we make it hard to book, then they're just going to see the next house on the list. When you get a showing request and you leave the house, here's the gold standard protocol. 1, the lights. Please leave every single light on. Overhead lights, lamps, under cabinet lighting, even in the middle of the day. We don't want the agent fumbling for switches in the dark. We want the buyer to walk into a bright, welcoming home. 2, pets. I love dogs, but buyers might not, or they might be allergic. Ideally, take the pets with you. If you can't, they need to be crated safely. A barking dog or cat trying to escape creates anxiety for the buyer, and anxious buyers don't write offers. And 3, this is the most important one, you need to leave. I know it's your house, but buyers can't speak freely if the owner is hovering in the kitchen. They need to feel comfortable discussing what they like and what they don't like without worrying about offending you. Finally, let's talk about activity levels. I'm going to sit down with you and explain exactly what is happening in the current market. If we are in a seller's market, be prepared for a rush. We might get 10 requests in the first 48 hours. It can be a little overwhelming, but it's a good problem to have. If the market has normalized or cooled, we might see steady, spaced out traffic. Don't panic if the phone doesn't ring 5 minutes after we hit submit. And don't panic if it rings off the hook. I monitor the market data daily. I know what normal looks like for your price point and neighborhood. If the activity matches the market, we are good. If it doesn't, we adjust. So keep the house tidy, keep the lights on, and keep your phone close. The buyers are coming.